and then I can see that everybody can see me on YouTube anyways. There's issues. I don't know if it could be issues on my end. Who knows what's happening with me on my machine, you know, so many different things. So somehow tonight is an issue, but that doesn't bother us as much. Okay, this is K. All right, says the third continent. We'll see whether it works. Sometimes they say they work, and sometimes when I'm trying to view real time, and then it comes back on. Doesn't matter. Okay, everybody have their cameras on. We're raring to go. So we want to talk about data tonight, and we want to use an example of data. I want to go through, do some housekeeping with you of some of the new quizzes that we have due for next week. And then I'll start doing a new assignment with you, an exercise that we'll look at. What do we talk about? Algorithms and how we go from there. Okay. So let me share my screen. Move this down, and I'll go to my Chrome. You see my Zoom meeting. Let's go to our what's due. We always look at our what's due section, and we know for tonight, which is Monday, February 19th. And can I have, before we start on that, Daniel Flores, you can moderate the chat.
Yep.
Okay. Do I have any other volunteers that will work with Daniel? Let me know for class participation. Anyone else want to do a shout out? And who wants?
I could do it.
Who is that?
Danny Johnson.
Okay, Danny Johnson. Good. And if you can, good. Okay, so Danny, just be with him. Perfect. Okay, so February 19th, we extended the screencasting. That should be in already. And that will be graded. Monday, February 19th, also, I had an automated trading systems, algo trading, right here, PowerPoint that you should view. Also, I asked you to read these two articles on algorithmic trading. What are the concepts and examples? And then you also have another one on the basics. Consider these questions. You can consider these for tonight, and you probably can consider these for the test as well. Is what is an automated trading system? What are the pros and cons of an automated trading system? And let me make this available to you. You may need a refresh. On next Monday, the 26th, we have a Wiley assignment and for chapter 4 and the quizzes. And then I have two more articles that I'd like you to read. One is called What is Backtesting? And the other one is called What is Optimization? So let me make sure that my links are in tow. So I'm going to go to What's Wiley Plus. I want to make this available, the security for you. I want to go into the security, into the adaptive assignment. There shouldn't be anybody taking the adaptive assignment yet since I hadn't made it available. And yes, you see not started. And then I'm going to go to options, edit an assignment. And make sure the next step, it's going to be practice. Chapter 4, we've gone back, set a due date. And let's assign it to the entire class. We don't just need to assign it to Gary Austin. We're going to do next, and let's give it a due date of next week. Okay, and save. So that should be done. I'm going to save it again. Who knows when this is? This is in the cloud, so I have no control of it, and I have the due date. And I see no one's struggling because no one started. Okay, so that is perfect. Now I go back to my quizzes just to make sure. My quizzes I should see under hardware and under security. I should edit the test options, and under, I don't want to edit that. Right, got the wrong one. I want to edit the test options, not the questions themselves. Not edit the tests. And then I want to open in a new window, and I want to make it available to everyone. Might as well make it a new announcement. Why not? 2 times this one. Why not? And let's just change the due date. Instead of September, we'll change it to February the 26th. Let's change it to people know. We can change it to 6:30 and submit. Got that out of the way. You should see it. Danny, do you see it on yours? Let me know. It's
Me
chapter
or the
5.
other one?
Well, you're in with not student, the other one. The other also we have 2 Dan. We have 1 Danny and 1 Daniel. I'll call you Daniel Flores and the other one
Okay.
Dan. Okay. So we got that part. Any questions? Okay, so do you see it, Garen? You got it? What's due for next week? So now the whole idea is we talked about data, and we talked about a data warehouse. And when we talk about a data warehouse, Caden, is a data warehouse real-time or historical?
Say that one more time, a data warehouse?
Yes. Is it A, real-time, B, historical, C, future?
I think it's historical.
Right, it's historical. This is where we store our historical. It's not going to be real time. And I'm able to do what in this case?
Store.
I'm able to do some studies. I'm able, if we're dealing with data from the stock market, we're able to back test and see how our strategy would be going and working had we traded that strategy.
Yeah.
We can see what do, and what do we always want to do is we want to be profitable, right? I want to enter a trade, right? That's the whole key that we talked about before. So in algorithmic trading, an algorithm is basically a series of steps to do some type of procedure. And in what I'm able to do in many cases is to see how well my automated trading systems work. So I'm sharing my screen. You see my screen, Caden? It's coming up Microsoft
Yeah, I see it.
365. So did we go over this last time? I think so, no? Yes, no? What do you think, Caden? Does this look familiar?
No.
Okay. So basically what I want to talk about tonight, Caden, is how do I do automated algorithmic software trading systems? And I want to take our reading from the book that we learn all the technical terms, but bring it to life. Isn't that what it's all about? And Caden, what is your major?
entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneur. So basically being an entrepreneur is being out there in
Yeah.
the trenches there and developing something real, right? It's
Yeah.
easy for a professor to talk, and you want something to be accomplished. So we're going to be looking at applications using, in this case, big data. So in this case, we need to define what's an algorithm. So Jalen, have you ever heard of an algorithm?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, and what do you know about an algorithm?
It's basically like a blueprint for someone to kind of execute like a plan or something
Right.
like
So
that.
basically, it's like anything that you do in the morning, right? You eat breakfast, whatever you do, you have a plan, right? An algorithm is basically a specific set of clearly defined instructions, and this is the key here, Jalen. If anybody's going to be doing with data analytics, they have to clearly define the instructions aimed to carry out a task or process. It doesn't matter if I'm dealing with the computer, I'm dealing with a recipe. It doesn't matter what I'm dealing in life, right? That's an algorithm. Bringing that algorithm to automated trading is the process of basic computers being programmed to follow a defined set of instructions for placing a trade. So we're going to enter a trade in order to do what? We want to generate profits, right? Jalen, I don't want to generate losses. That's not my goal, right? Is to generate profits. You with me, Jalen?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good. So it's the same thing when I'm going to be doing anyone. So Isabel, do you like to cook? Isabel, you hear me? You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I just don't cook because I live in a dorm.
Yeah, but you'd like to. Have you ever cooked with a recipe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a recipe is an algorithm. What is it? Tells you what are the ingredients, what are the steps, and I want to make a birthday cake. All right. What's your favorite dish to make?
Pasta.
Pasta. Everybody loves pasta. I love pasta too. I haven't eaten pasta in a while. Yeah, but that's not right. Last week I had on Valentine's, I had pasta after my session, right? I had pasta. It was pretty good. So anyways, it's the same idea, right? Tells me the temperature to cook, what it is, put all the ingredients together. That's an algorithm. The whole idea of automated trading is the same idea that I'm having. So I have different types of not only I can trade with different sets of data. So I can do high frequency data. And Charlie, have you ever heard of high frequency data?
No, I have not.
Okay. Basically, when you think about data that's being traded, right? Let's say on the stock exchange, NASDAQ, how frequently let's say we take Microsoft, for example, right? I take Microsoft stock. How often does it change price, you think?
Like more than every second.
Yeah. Even less than a second, it can change. Tick by tick, it can change prices. That's called, if I basically look at that high frequency trading, it's basically taking millions of trades and moving in and out of positions, Charlie, in a fraction of a second. Blink your eyes, Charlie, twice. And in that time, when you blink, it could be thousands of trades being traded. This is a type of trading and high frequency trading. Do you think they do this manually? No way in the world could they do it. Charlie, I couldn't even press the enter key to enter the trade versus they've already traded. So you know those automated, what they call trading robots are trading in the background all the time. And that's the use of what they call automated algorithmic software trading robots. These bots go in and out. And now with the advent of AI, they are making these more sophisticated and basically making changes to these strategies even with less human intervention. And because of this, there's even on the audit area, there can be, because all of basically trading is done by these robots, they can manipulate this where you can have massive market fluctuations. You can have really crashes being done, people putting in, start putting in all these. Have you ever heard of, Destiny, have you ever heard of deep fakes? Where they can fake people's voices. It can look like, Elon Musk said something, or a presidential candidate, and it's not even them. Have you heard about that, Destiny?
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, seen those. So somebody, how do we even know to distinguish? Somebody says, hey, there's a war going on. This is happening. This person died. This person, decided to invest. So basically you need these watchdogs to watch over all these fakes. Now, when we think about these automated trading systems, we as humans don't have to be as involved. So there's advantages of these automated trading systems. So Destiny, like I told you in the exam, there'll be two parts. One from the book, kind of multiple choice, similar to the quizzes you've taken online. And the other part will be open-ended questions that I will be reviewing. But one type of open-ended question would be, what are automated trading systems? What are its advantages? What are its disadvantages? So basically, one is the computer doesn't get too overly excited, it can minimize the emotions. Destiny, all of a sudden I see we're investing in stocks, I get too nervous, it's gone down a bit, and I say, you know what, I'm not going to follow our instructions, our rules, let's sell now. And then you say, Dr. Rush, but our algorithm said this, and I said, I'm just too nervous. So basically, advantage of automated trading system, it minimizes emotions. Now, we talked about a Victoria of backtesting. Backtesting, basically, we can test on historical data before we risk our money. We can do what I call backtesting, meaning that we can go back in time and test our algorithm and see, is this a good algorithm on our past data? We can preserve our discipline. So if it tells me the instructions, I don't sway from that. It will follow it. It can improve my order entry speed, right? It can go quicker than I could ever order. And it can diversify my trading. Since it's doing this, it can trade multiple accounts, various strategies at the same time, and it can make changes to those strategies. If I have advantages, I must have, then, Sophia, I probably have then disadvantages. The disadvantages is it's all running on the computer, so I could have mechanical failures. So right at the point where it tells me that I need to buy something or I need to sell something, it could be a mechanical failure. So it could get me out of a trade when I didn't want to, or get me out too early, too late. If I want to monitor what's happening, I could lose power. And since it also is automated, does it so quickly, if my strategy is not working at a certain time, I can lose more money. So, Sophia, what the problem is, I lose quicker. Not only can I lose on my own, but this can make me lose quicker. So there's different trading software platforms that we can use. For tonight, where it's specific rules to tell us when we're going to enter a trade, when we're going to exit a trade. Once programmed, it can be automatically executed via the computer. There are many different ones out there. For tonight and for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be using a software platform called Ninja Trader, but many of the other ones, Trading View, there's many different ones that are available. We can get it. The advantage with Ninja Trader is that you can use it in simulation mode. It's free, and that's what we'll be working on. Questions? Sophia, you have any questions for me? Okay, so let's start, and let's see where we begin. I'm going to start, Garen. I'm going to do a bit of our project already. Folks, you can go along with me, or you can watch. I'm recording this. You have a choice. So you understand that, Victoria? I'm going to go through a lot of this stuff step by step, but you can join me in it. Or some people say, you know, in the beginning, I like just to watch. Other people say, I feel more involved. That's how I learn best. I feel more involved. Otherwise, I kind of, you know, close my eyes and fade off. So it depends on your learning style. Any questions? Okay. So let me stop sharing. So we're all back here together. So what my goal is tonight, I'm going to use NinjaTrader with the virtual desktop interface. We're going to be using Windows. If you have access to Windows on your own, you can go to ninjatrader.com and download their desktop version, their version 8.0, and you can do these assignments, or you can go to the lab, the SBA lab, the School of Business, or we can use this virtual. I like this virtual just to show some of the concepts, the pluses and the minuses, what's happening. Okay, everybody with me so far? That's good. So Matt, you have any questions? Okay.
Nah, I'm all good.
Okay. And Michael Wessels, how are you doing? Okay.
Doing great, thank you. I'm following along.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'm going to share your screen here, and then Michael, you can go along with it and maybe even help in this case get most of a good portion done. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. I'm here, everybody with me, and I'm going to web links. Everybody go to web links. I go to web link and I see here, it says Azure Virtual Lab. Azure is with Microsoft, it's their cloud service. And what the university has done for me is they've given everyone in this class access to Azure's Virtual Lab. And in Azure's Virtual Lab, they give a Windows operating system with NinjaTrader 8, a 64-bit and a 32-bit version, and everyone has their own desktop. How do you get to Azure Virtual Lab? Is via the internet. So I am going to open this, and you should get this. It's Azure VDI, which is Virtual Desktop Interface. The school created this for us, and we have student VDI. We all have student VDI there, and I click on that. Now, the only thing that I'm telling you, and especially my Mac users, I found using this with the Windows is it usually works better with Chrome than it does with Safari. So sometimes, you know, you're trying to right click, sometimes you're trying to get in, and sometimes you're getting into, because Excel is also there, you have problems. Now, if you look at this, Joshua, it says access local resources. Do you have that? Are you following along or you're just watching? Joshua.
I'm just watching for now.
So it says access local resources. What do you think that means? The Azure, the virtual, or your computer?
My computer.
Your computer. So it allows by default saying, hey, if even though we're using that desktop with Azure, you can use your own machine for the clipboard and file transfers. So I'm going to allow it. And it's connecting. Notice it says connecting and launching. And here, everyone needs to enter their credentials, just like you get into Blackboard. And only those people that are in my class that I gave your credentials does it work with. And it gives me a space on their virtual desktop. Notice Russian it's pairing my windows. My screen will look a bit different than yours. The disadvantage is what here? That I am subject to them, right? I have enough problems with my own computer. I'm subject to them. And then in this case, I have a lot of spreadsheets. You probably have less spreadsheets because even in previous ways, this saves this to me in the cloud. So I have two versions here, Gabriella. I have the 64-bit and I have a 32-bit. The 32-bit doesn't tell me that it's 32-bit, but I'm going to use the 64-bit. Do you see that, Gabriella?
Yes.
And I'm going to be using Ninja 8. And what I like to do is I just right click and I like to open it that way. Because since it's slower than even my own machine, why? Because it has to go through the internet using another hardware. And basically, I bet Daniel Flores, I bet they didn't take the highest end computers that Microsoft could have right there in the cloud. What do you think?
They did not.
And they probably didn't give it the fastest processor, and they probably didn't give it the fastest memory, right? So
Well, it's hosted, so it's like virtual processors.
yeah, and it's virtual
divided.
process. I'm saying all in all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just happy that they gave it to me. You know what I mean? Beggars can't be choosers, Daniel.
Yeah, let me see.
So I'm opening up. So you can check out what they're actually giving you.
4 V-cores, 14 gigs of RAM.
Okay. Better than I thought. But anyway, not that much better. Okay. So this is the error I get because again, I asked the tech people to install for me NinjaTrader 8, and there were some issues there. So it says an error. NinjaTrader has detected recent changes to your machine ID. For security purposes, you will need to re-enter an account, connections, credentials, and your license key has been reset to a simulation-only key. Well, at this point, Corey, I don't have control over this. And I only want to be in simulation, so I'm just going to say, okay. If we were, Evan, actually trading, right, then I would be concerned about this, right? But I'm not, so I'm just going to say, okay, and you can say, okay. And you can see here, I got a simulated trading program. We'll see where this takes me. It says it's initializing the database. Remember, we talked about databases in here. And now it's bringing up this right here is my NinjaTrader platform. So you can see in this case, you can see my NinjaTrader platform. Do you see that? You can see my NinjaTrader platform completely. This is set up, and later on we'll do this. This is set up if I go to new, for instance, and the strategies are written in what they call a Ninja script editor. Those of you that have any programming, it's really a version of C#. That's the editor. It has what they call a strategy builder, that it has built-in strategies with instructions, but we could make our own. If we have time, and those of you who are interested, I'd be happy to show you that you could build your own strategy based on even taking other strategies that we have. We could even tweak it. And we have something called the strategy analyzer that we can analyze different strategies. And a lot of things here coming from new that we have. Now, in order for me to do any type of work, I need to be doing what, Jalen? Connected to data, right?
Yeah.
You're my data analytics guy, and I need data before you can analyze anything. Why we're using this is we got big data. So what I always want to do, and everybody needs to put this in their notes, is in order to new NinjaTrader, you need to force it to be connected to data. Some of the other platforms automatically, when you load it up, will automatically get you data. NinjaTrader is not like that. It requires you to get data. So we have to go, the first thing, you put this in your notes here, the first thing, and Daniel, maybe you can kind of like take notes of what we need to do in terms of instructions, right? The first
Yeah, I'm
thing
gonna
that,
upload that the clip,
yeah, the first thing that we
the
need to do is,
recording,
yeah, but the first things that we need to do is get connected to data. Now we can configure our own data with another data feed, with another brokerage account, with even Yahoo, with a number of different ones, or we can use what's available here. I'm going to look for, Jalen, end of day data, meaning that for any, let's say for any stock symbol, I'm just going to look at the end of the day, what was the closing price. Do you understand that, Jalen? So I'm going to look at it. I'm looking for end of day. And if everybody knows, especially for simulation mode, I want it to be free. So everybody did put in your notes then, this kinetic end of day must be clicked first. Before you do anything else, this, you need to connect. You see here, you need to connect to kinetic end of day to get the data feed. If you don't have this, you can't work. And the way that you know this, Sophia, is on the left-hand corner in the lower left. You see my cursor here? What do you see? Sophia, what do you see in the lower left of my corner of my screen? Do you see it?
The green dot thing.
A green dot. Perfect. I see a green ball that tells me I'm connected. So Sophia, other people in your group that say, hey, I'm trying to get the chart data, they don't get any data, you know automatically, right? We weren't born with this, check on the left-hand side. So I see that I have data. So now what I want to do is let's even start just with a chart. So Jalen, I'm going to start with the chart. I'm going to go new chart. Are you, Jalen, are you going along with me or just looking?
No, I'm just looking.
Okay. So in this case, I need to choose an instrument, right? So Evan, are you just looking too, or you're actually trying it?
I'm following along.
Okay. So in this case, Evan,
Wait, what did you click to get this open?
I first needed to do connections and
I
I
know.
did end
I
of
got
day and then I go new chart.
New chart. All right.
Okay. Anyways, so let me just go. And now what I need to do is I need to select then, Evan, I need to select then an instrument. And what we're going to do is we're going to take one symbol. For our exercise, we'll take one symbol. I've tried these out already, but one way to find a symbol that you want, you could even do Dow 30, or you could do NASDAQ 100. So let's just do Dow 30. I'm just going to do the Dow 30 here. And I'm going to choose, in this case, I don't know, what do you want, Jalen?
It doesn't really matter.
I know.
AAPL.
Okay. Okay. So AAPL. What company is that?
Actually not sure.
Okay, look it up, right? Anytime everybody
Apple.
says I'm not sure. In this class, what do we do?
Look it up. It's Apple.
Mm-hmm. You heard of them, right? Now, the only thing that you do, it's Apple. Mine says daily. By default, many say minute. So in this case, if I looked at it, Joshua, are you following along or you're just watching?
I'm just watching for now.
Okay, so in this case, you want to make sure, if you think about it, that I want to be for the type, I want to have my price based on the last time, and the type, if it's end of day, then Joshua, what should I choose? Should I choose second, minute, day, week, month, if I'm looking at end of day data?
We should leave it how it is.
I leave it as it is because I just had done day. Those of you coming in the first time usually change by day to minute to day, but that's a key. And I'm gonna, days to load, Jalen, is how many days by default?
365.
365 a year. I'm leaving it at the default. So the only thing that anyone else has to change is the type. Type has to be equal to day. So put in your notes there, Joshua, put in your notes that you got to make sure that it says end of day. And now I say, okay. And this is Apple, right? So this is Apple. And it looks like the end right here. And what I'm going to do, everybody that's looking right here with me, is when I look at, basically when I looked at any of what I was looking before, right? I have tabs here. When I'm looking at anything before, I can do it. So if I go to new again, new chart, right? And then I could select. At this point, I could go to Dow. I could, instead of Apple, I could go to Cisco. I could go to Microsoft. Let me go to Microsoft. They've done pretty well. I go to Microsoft, it's day. I say, okay. And then let me expand this. So I expand it, and right at the very top, you see this, it's like an arrow facing up. So if I go from the left, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's an arrow up. I click on that to get local. I like to have a crosshair. So in the crosshair, you see things differently. So for instance, in this case, when I'm looking at this case, Michael Russo, is notice if I were right here on 9/28/2023, you see where I am, Michael Russo? And I say, you know, Michael, let's buy here. Let's enter the trade here. And let's exit on 11/28 right here. So Michael Russo, do you think I generated a profit or generated a loss?
You made profit.
I made profit, right? And Michael Wessels, right? At this point, I look brilliant, don't I? We all can do that, don't I? What a professor you have, a genius, a genius. Because we all can look at the historical, right, and say, you know, and some of those fraudsters say, this is where we, they tell you stories. This is where we bought, and this is our strategy where we sold, right? What do you know? Everybody can tell you stories from the behind, right? So in this case, I'm doing it. So at this point, I made money. This is my strategy. And then the other idea I have to you, Michael Wessels, is if I entered the trade here, you see this, Michael Wessels? If I entered
I do see
here,
it.
what? You see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, okay. Michael Wessels, if I entered here and we exit the trade here, if we bought here and we sold here, would I generate a profit or generate a loss?
No, you'd be losing a lot of money.
I've been losing my mind. Now the question is, everybody heard that, right? And I don't want to be a loser too much, right? Right, I've lost plenty in my life. So the question is, I want to minimize my losses and increase my gains, right? So that maximize my gains. So the question is, could I possibly, here I'm betting that I'm going, it's called in the way these strategies work, it's saying betting the long, that I'm betting that if we start here and I exit here, the long means that I'm betting that it's going to go up. My question to you, Michael Wessels, can I make money when it's going down?
If you hold on to it long enough to where it comes back
Right,
to where
if
you
I
originally
do
bought.
here and wait till it goes up here, but let's
Right.
say I'm betting, I think, right now how Microsoft was, I think they had a lot of layoffs, and I don't think, that Sam Altman left them, and I'm not so sure. I think, can I make money thinking it's going down, betting that it's going down? What do you think, Seth?
What was
Do
the
you
question?
understand my question?
No, can you repeat it?
Yeah. I think if we bought here, Seth, I think Microsoft, that's the one we're trading, is going to go down for the next month. Can we make money on that?
You short it.
Short it. Excellent. So we have a term, right, that if I long here with my excellent, Seth, when I say that it's going for my long, I'm betting it's going to go up. There's a way when I bet that it's going to go down, I can short the stock. So one is long, think about it, that I think it's going to go up, I bet. And the other one short, it bets it's going to go down. So I can lose in either case, because if right, Seth, if I think we're shorting it and it ends up it's going up and we didn't get out of it, we'll lose money, right?
Yep.
But we can be on both sides. That's important for my strategies. So what we're going to look at is there are what we call some that we can create on our own, Seth, strategies. Some we can get via AI, that we can get the computer to help us write our strategies. And some they're built-in strategies already. So for our first assignment, we're going to use the built-in strategies. There's many ways to get those built-in strategies. One is anywhere on my black screen here, I can right click and I can go to strategies. Another way is on up on my panel right here, one to the left says strategies. Either way, you can get to it a number of different ways. I'm going to just go this way. So I click on it, and these are built-in strategies that come with NinjaTrader. Most platforms come with some kinds of strategies built in. I like, before we create our own or modify, Seth, let's use what they have built in first, just to understand the platforms and understand data and understand source code. So I'm going to use, and in this exercise, we're going to use the sample MA crossover. So write that down. For our exercise, for the next 2 times, we're going to use the sample SMA crossover. SMA stands for moving average, a simple moving average crossover. So that means that there are 2 moving averages that when one crosses above the other, we execute. When it crosses below, we execute something else. One is we could buy, one Seth we could short, right? Our two moving averages are by periods. One is a 10-day moving average. And the other is a 25-day moving average. This is built into the system, Seth, but later on we can change these numbers. Right, Seth? We can do a 10, we can 25. And instead of me moving those, I can have the computer change it each time and run through a number of different systems. I don't want to, what I'm going to show you is I don't want to be sitting in front of a computer doing things all day long. I want the computer to do it. So we're going to use the sample MA crossover. I can double click. Let me just remove this. Or I can highlight that sample moving crossover and just, you see here where it says add, I can add it. Different ways for different folks here. And this is what I have. I have one moving average that's called fast. And we say, what is that, Seth? 10 days. The other one says it's slow. It says 25 days. What stock am I using in this case, William? What symbol? William McKay, what symbol am I using in this case?
The one that your mouse is on right now?
Yes.
MSFT?
Right, Microsoft. You can choose any other one, doesn't matter. But this is the key, William, and everyone.
Sorry.
And
I'm used to going by my middle name, so I don't usually respond.
oh, okay. What do you want to
Yeah.
be called?
McKay. My bad.
Okay,
I'm just
great.
not used
Thank
to
you.
it.
I appreciate it. I was just reading your sign. So maybe, you know what would be good, McKay?
Yeah.
Is later on, it's just rename yourself. You
Yeah,
know
I
what
will.
mean?
Sorry about that.
No, it's perfect. No problem. And now, do you see this, Daniel Flores?
Yep.
What we need to make sure that we tell everybody to do under the strategy, by default, NinjaTrader keeps enabled unchecked because it's an automated system. And had we been connected to our brokerage account, automatically it won't even ask for confirmation. It will run the strategy.
Mhm.
So we got to make sure that we enable the strategy, and look how easy it is to look it over. So when people are trying to apply a strategy, right, Jalen, they won't see, put it in your notes that enabled has to be checked. So you see that, Natty, that this on strategy enable had to be checked. Once that's checked, when I say apply, it says, look at this, Daniel Flores, although you have an order confirmation enabled, orders generated by a strategy will be submitted without confirmation. Scary in some ways, great in other ways, right?
Yeah, at least we're on a demo account.
For a demo account, we don't care that much, right? But I'm
Exactly.
just saying, but that enabled checkbox is it's so easy to not even see it. So that's why I wanted you to tell you there that we haven't. And now it has put in by this strategy, where in this case, Seth, do you see this? It says it wants to sell short at this point. You see that pink going down, Seth?
Yeah, I see it.
And then when did it close its position was right at this point. So it went up when it thought it went down. So you see this red dotted line? Red means what? Good or bad? Means loss or profit?
Bad.
Bad. Loser, right? So in this case, the short didn't do well. But in this case, if I look at this point, right, where it says buy, do you see this, Seth? There's a blue arrow going up.
Yep.
It says buy 100 at 33105. And where did it exit? It closed the position right here. And I have dotted green here. It went way up. Dotted green means a winner or a loser?
Winner.
Winner. And hopefully what? My strategy will have what? More winners than losers, and the winners will be better than the losers. And notice it looks like if I go backwards in time, anywhere where it says short, it's a loser. And basically what you can think about Microsoft, it really last year really went up quite a bit. And here, if I look at this point where I have all my dots, at this one point, I'll go into more and I look at the properties. It says in this case, I have two simple moving average, one at 25 and one at 10. And at that point, basically, it looks like when my green crosses over my gold, something happens. And when my gold goes beyond, something else happens. And how can I see how well I performed, Jalen? Is if I right click anywhere and I go to strategy performance. You see that, Jalen? I go to sample MA. MA stands for moving average, 1025. One moving average, Jalen, is 10. Another one is 25. And I want to do real time and historical. So everybody understand, put it in your notes. Strategy performance, highlight my strategy, and I want real time and historical. Because what I want to do, Jalen, back test, look at my historical data, see how well it did. I click on that, and I get a performance. So in this case, Jalen, you see this is in dollar amounts. If I want to compare different symbols, I don't want to use dollars. I want to use percentages. Do you understand that, Jalen? Because one stock, right? You're in data analytics. One stock may be $100. Another one may be $1,500. So $200 means something completely different. So everybody understand that? And Daniel Flores, this is what we have to emphasize too, because by default, the performance comes in dollars. They should have had the default come in percentage. So we have to look at percent here. Change currency to percent. And now, anything in red, how did my short trades do, Jalen?
Not good.
Not good. Just seeing red is not good, right? How did my longs do? Much better.
Good. Yeah.
Altogether, my longs did 15%. Altogether, it did 7%. They basically, my shorts knocked out, were so bad, they knocked out a lot of my good trades. So if you had to say, Jalen, how could we improve this strategy? You would tell me what? It needs to be modified for what? This strategy should only trade what?
Long trades, not short trades.
Exactly. So as you as the monitor here, and then what you could do is you could program the AI to tell you that. The AI could tell you, right? Red is not good. You can maximize.
Yeah.
And now what would we want to do, Jalen, is we will wanted to probably first export it to what? Excel, right? Right click. Yep. And where should I go then? In this case, Michael Russo. I want to go to export. And where should I export it? Automatically, did you see that?
Yeah.
It automatically created a NinjaTrader grid. It gave me the date and the time I did it. And this is what everybody needs to add. And Daniel, add that as well. As soon as you export it, put in the data there where you would then tell it, hey, I used what symbol you did. So in this case, I used Microsoft, MSFT. What
So
was
you want to
my,
add that for the name?
yeah, add that for the title so you can look exactly. And then you don't have to retitle it again. Microsoft. Then I would add what was my strategy was SMA, right? 1025. Because later on we'll have it, right? What was my overall? What was it? 7%, let's say. Right, my overall. And then I have my data ready, and then and everybody would put their name. Then they could copy it to the buffer. Right, they could copy it. Did they have to put the date and time? No, the system did it. Did you see that, Daniel?
Yes.
And then save it. And what are we waiting for? Excel. Is Excel, where is this Excel?
Wherever
Michael
you saved it.
Wessels, where does this Excel reside? This version of Excel?
Is it still in the Windows application?
Yes. Great. You're getting a version of Windows on that application. They gave us Windows, Microsoft Excel. And you see how the thing is, and at this point even, I'm now in Excel, right? So the same things I do. So I could even, in this case, do you see that, Daniel? I could then copy what was in there.
The title, yeah.
In the title. And if it would, I could just do it right there. And then what I would want to do, Daniel, is you see the sheet? Rename the sheet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rename it. What? The Microsoft. And it was overall, it was 7.7. And then I could save it. So and here basically I would highlight, right? You can make it look good, right? I could highlight, I can make the coloring right. Make sure I got the profits right. And already I see, Michael Wessels, what do I see? That my short trades were losers, right? And then I have this one. And then later on you say, let me see. And then I could do file. Isn't this pretty nice? And then you could see here, save as. I could save it to my OneDrive University of Miami. You got a OneDrive University of Miami, right? You could do it even, in this case, you can show them, Daniel, they could save it to this PC. They could browse to the desktop, right? And then they could send it somewhere. Let me put this just on my desktop, just so I have it right. And I have it by the date, the Microsoft, right? My name, right? You want to replace it? I say yes. Now what I want to do is I could go back, right? And try it again, but I have my strategy performance already here. I can't believe we're almost out of time. And then you could just, in the black area where you had your chart, you could just put in another, you wouldn't even have to start from just type in where there's black, you could type in another symbol. And what your goal here is, Michael Wessels, is what? To find, by just picking and choosing to see what do you want is the highest overall.
Right.
And everybody in your group, Michael, if you're going to lead them, right, is everybody in your group pick different symbols and try them out and experiment. Nobody's going to hurt you. And then you'll everybody will turn in their own spreadsheet, but just like you had in the screencasting, you'll list what everybody used, what symbol everybody used, and everybody has to have positive. If all trades are negative based on that strategy, you choose another symbol. I don't want to choose a loser. I don't want to start. I don't even know how it's going to do in the beginning, but for sure, I don't want to choose a loser. And we'll spend more time on it, but you got the idea, Seth, on where these are what they're calling automated trading system. And then later on, you saw how we did 1025. And let's say NASDAQ 100. You want to go through 100 symbol, the S&P 500. How many stocks, in this case, Gabriella, are in the S&P 500? How many symbols?
I'm not sure.
Listen to my question, Gabriella.
500.
Right, right? You just, we think first before we say, I'm not sure. We're all not sure. I'm not sure whether I'm going to wake up tomorrow, right? I'm not sure what I'm going to eat tonight, right? I'm all not sure. But the idea is we think about it. So do you want to go through 500 symbols? I don't know about you, but I don't. So later on, you understand, Seth? Let the computer go ahead and go through. All I tell it is go through 500. And then, Daniel, I don't want to do those 10 moving average, 25. Let me give them the limits. Go from 10 to 500. Find me what's the best combination.
Exactly.
You understand? I want the computer. That's what I want with AI to be for me. I want it to do all the dirty work. I want it to do all the repetitive work. You understand that, Jalen? I don't want to sit there and sit 24/7 in front of a computer screen. I got more things I'd love to do, and we can use our creative minds to come up with ideas. And all my entrepreneurs here, questions, comments?
The question I guess becomes, if everyone has it that easy, then would there be any loser on the trade?
Sure. It's
But
not that easy. What happened yesterday isn't what's going to happen tomorrow.
True, but if everyone's going in the same,
the only thing is everybody's going insane. That's why sometimes, have you heard of technical analysis, Daniel?
Yeah, actually,
in the short term, I think technical analysis works because there's so many masses of people that believe that.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is self-fulfilling, but also historical prices.
You know what I mean? But there'll be variations, and then you have different ways of, of manipulation, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why when you see a lot of times those market fluctuations going down so steeply, that if you see years before it didn't, is because of that. Because all those programs are trading very similarly. And when that certain symbol, that certain occurrence happens, everybody quickly gets out, or everybody gets out of that trade, or everybody buys, or whatever. You know what I mean? That's why you see those massive fluctuations happening a lot of times. Is because they are trained similarly. And that's the thing, Also, it's not so simple. If it was so simple, but it's not.
Also, like, if the AI is judged by the data you input, companies that control data of individuals trading, say through Robinhood, because all that data is given to like Citadel, they would have an absolute edge.
Oh yeah, they all those guys have they know what's coming down the track. It's all kind of
like they can bet against you, essentially.
Yeah, they see already where are my trades at. That was with Robinhood and all the other ones, that they were saying, hey, I can see what's happening, so let me just bet against them, or let me be the first. There's a lot of manipulation, especially when you do the high frequency. I already see what's happening. It's almost like it's not as similar, but how I see the past historical, and I look brilliant, right? Because I know what was there. But I just wanted you to get your hands filled with this to see, and then the next step would be how much more automation I can get, and then it would be what they're trying now is I kind of see those moving average, and now even get the AI, it can come up with all these different ideas, and it knows what, Daniel, to maximize my profits.
Yes.
Right, and maybe my own personal requirements, right? That it can start doing a lot. And what do I care? It works 24/7. I'm out there dancing away or whatever, you know? And then I come back, but I need somebody to monitor it. Or, events happening, crazy world, that, or programming it to get me out when there's something going on or when there's movements.
Like
But
off
that's
of the
where it's going.
news. That's
What?
also very risky.
Yeah, of course. And like I said before, I'm just showing you for an example. I'm not saying that we're going to be billionaires and we
This is
should
not
already,
financial advice.
right? And basically, all I say, if after the class, if you're successful, just name your yacht after me. I don't even have to have a ride ever. So those are the kind of things. And just think about it later on, ethical and so forth. But it brings to life it brings to life what we're talking about, that big data. So this is a good example for it in doing the data analytics, and a lot of it, that's the holy grail, what people want. Okay, any other comments? But that's basically what we saw, that later on, that's what you'll be doing for that next exercise. And the exercise after that will be showing you how to use optimization, where have it look at 500 companies, or have it look and adjust my 1025 just on one of those strategies. And we'll look at what does the code look like, how you can just basically, we can just mark out one line and say, guess what, Michael Russo, I don't want to have the shorts. These shorts, this strategy is not good with shorts. Take it out. We take out that one line of code, or we rewrite with a wizard, we rewrite it and say, just give me this SMA, same SMA, and I doubled my money already. And then you look, Seth, it took you maybe 30 seconds and you look brilliant. If you did it right? If it works that way. And just because of what happened in the past doesn't mean that it's going to be in the future. That's it. Any other comments? Good points, Daniel, that we can discuss. Okay, so everybody, I do the readings. I play around with, even in your groups, you can play around with this. Kind of find out where you get stuck and so forth. And once you know what to do, it doesn't take long. Right, Daniel? It's really pretty quick. But you want to think about what you're doing. And
With this specific assignment, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And people get stuck over silly stuff. I didn't do the enabled. I didn't connect to the data feed, stuff like that. I lost my spreadsheet. I don't know where it is. Okay. So let me share the screen. Stay with me if you have other comments, questions, issues. Oh, there's another thing I want to do is I want to make sure then I get out of this. It will shut you off anyways, but it's a good idea. My power and my disconnect to disconnect. Okay. So let me go to, hopefully this is my virtual lab, my attendance. And thank you those who helped me out here in terms of looking at it, start checking. And 8526. Once you finish, have a good night. We'll see you soon. Stay with me if you have personal issues. (8526).
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you, Danny. Okay. Okay. So I can stop sharing. Victoria, did you everybody online now has attendance? Yes? Okay, so
Yeah, I think they have a question.
okay, perfect. Let me just stop everything, okay?